because I think Deepika has a disease. And I'm like, DK, you're definitely on par with her.
Today we have Saurav Ghosal, 13 times national champion, Asian medalist, Commonwealth medalist, Arjuna awardee, and the icing on the cake this year was the World Championship title alongside Deepika Pallikal. In the likes of Neeraj Chopra and PV Sindhu, we have a world champion here. Today's episode is all about Saurav Ghosal's journey towards his pinnacle of success. Grit, determination, sacrifice, skill, and whatnot. Welcome to Time Out with Basu. Please do subscribe to our channel for some quality info. The world champion, Saurav Ghosal. Saurav, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're so fit, it looks like you're going to play for the next 6 or 7 years.
I kind of want to say I hope so, but I don't know. I think it all depends, on how I feel mentally and physically. I sit down with myself every year, once a year, before the season starts or after the season has ended, to kind of ask myself some very hard questions as to whether, I have it in me to compete at the very top and get better and improve as a squash player on a daily basis or not. And if the answer to that question is yes, then, this is the next step of speaking to my team and seeing whether they believe in that process and that goal as well. Because at the very, very top, small details make a big difference.
Absolutely.
Every time you get onto court to play a match, you're going into battle. And if physically and mentally you're not, right there where you really need to be, then you're already fighting a losing cause. And I don't want to be fighting a losing cause every time I go onto court. I don't like losing, like most, top sports people. I hope that I can play for as long as I can, because this is something that I love and has given me so much in life. But I know time waits for no one. But I'm going to try and do my best to play as long as I can and push the envelope as much as I can.
Fantastic. You're a world champion. Okay, please run us through that. I mean, it's not a joke. Neeraj Chopra, PV Sindhu and the likes, we have Saurav Ghosal alongside Deepika Pallikal. I started following, obviously, squash back in the days. First, used to train Joshna, then Deepika Pallikal. She's like as good as family, you know that. Yeah. And then we started following you.
Yeah.
And I've seen you at every level. You started raising the bar, Asian medal, Commonwealth medal, and you won the nationals about 13 times. And I mean, others have stopped playing, I think. You just thoroughly dismiss everyone in the national level. And from there, you moved on to another level. You are world number 10, right?
In 2019,
and
yes.
Currently, you're ranked number 17. And you reached a top 8 in one world championship.
Yeah.
Constantly you're at it. Relentless, I would say. How is it possible?
I mean, to start with the world doubles, I think it's almost unbelievable, especially because Deepika's first tournament back after, taking a hiatus for almost 4 years. I was injured actually before the event. I had an abductor injury, which was pretty bad, which I got in early March, and literally like 3 days before the tournament, I wasn't sure whether I was going to go to Glasgow to play this tournament. And I kept telling Deepika, okay, let's take a call like 2 days before we're supposed to leave. Let me see if, I think I can make it, and then let's go and then see how it goes. And we decided on the Thursday when we were leaving on the Saturday that, okay, we're going to go give it a shot. And we went there. And to be honest, the first couple of days was a little bit of a shock to the system. One, because I think Deepika hadn't been playing at that level for a while. So, for anyone coming back, it is a shock. The game has moved on like any sport in today's day and age. The physicality has improved to a level which is kind of unbelievable right now. So I think that was one. And then obviously with me, physically not being at 100%, to be able to kind of cover her and play the way that we want to play wasn't quite transpiring to the best of our abilities. But I think credit goes to I think Deepika as well. We had some hard conversations at the end of the second day, and I think we really, really started putting it together from the third day onwards. And I think after that, the quality of squash that we produced, and I think also the expressiveness of what we did on court, to really entertain everyone as well with the way we were playing, I think was brilliant. And we were very, very clinical and executed plans very, very well. I think that was one of the key things, when you're playing the mixed doubles event, having tactics and strategy in place, which is crystal clear, so that both the partners are on the same page, doing exactly the same things, so that you're not exposing each other on the court, is very, very important. And I think in that week, especially after the second day, we managed to do that, I think, as well as we possibly could. And yeah, and that's why we were world champions in that week. So yeah.
How different is mixed doubles and squash as compared to tennis? Because we all are used to watching a lot of tennis.
I think one of the things is we don't play it as often. So tennis, obviously, you have it at all the Grand Slams. The in squash, it's more about the Commonwealth Games and the World Doubles leading up to Commonwealth Games. So the frequency of it isn't as high. So that kind of makes it difficult to kind of get acquainted every time we play it. I think in the
And what is the space you all play in?
the space is a bit wider than the normal singles court.
Okay.
The tin is lower, so on the professional circuit we play on a 17-inch tin, but in the doubles it's 13 inches. I think in the mixed doubles, I think it's also very different to even the women's doubles and the men's doubles in a lot of ways, because of course a lot of the barrage of shots is going to the girl. It's a mental battle for the guys because they're not getting as many balls, so you're always like, how you watch tennis, right? You go from one side to the other. You're actually on court.
Poach.
Yeah, you're on court doing this the whole time and waiting for the ball to come to you. And then the temptation always is that when the ball does come to you, you want to use it to the best of your ability and try and win the point outright. But it's almost a trap, because you kind of rush yourself and you probably don't hit the right shot at the right time. So you have to be very selective in choosing which ones to attack and which ones to kind of work the opponents with. And like I said, I think tactically it's one of the most complex events in squash. But if you do get those complex tactics right, you can do very well and produce some very exciting performances.
Is it that difficult to penetrate the Asian cycle to get into an individual podium finish?
Yeah, I think it's always when you create history, when you do it for the first time, it kind of has that extra significance to it. So even like the Commonwealth bronze this time, the individual one, is the first time ever. I think that just has a bit more of a special ring to it.
Which is more difficult in squash, Asian Games or
I would say the Commonwealths.
Okay.
I think the field is stronger. I think you have countries like England, New Zealand, Australia, who have traditionally been powerhouses.
Okay.
So it's pretty much the World Championships, barring Egypt.
Okay.
So yeah, I think the Commonwealth Games is stronger. That's why that individual bronze this year in the Commonwealths is probably my most coveted medal right now. But yeah, I think it is difficult at that point in time. But I think we have changed the landscape over the last, I'd say, 8 to 10 years. People like Joshna, Deepika, myself have obviously led the front, but even the boys and girls behind us have contributed to that effect. We've changed the landscape where now we are on the world map as India. We are on the Asian map as one of the powerhouses. So when we go into an Asian Games or an Asian team event, we are considered both in the boys and girls as medal contenders and gold medal prospects, which is a big change from when we started out, or at least when I started out in 2002, when I played my first Asian Games, where we were complete outsiders. And I think that's probably this generation's biggest contribution to Indian squash, that we've pushed the bar and taken Indian squash to a level where we can compete on the world stage. We still have a little bit of time left, and my hope is, and that's what we are trying to do, is to convert that competitiveness into dominating on the world stage, and hopefully that will happen in the next couple of years.
You definitely feel that the modern India is definitely spreading its wings with other sports as well.
I firmly believe that. I think over the last decade, what we have achieved in sports, in varied sports, is very, very commendable. I think the crowning glory for that concept or process was the Commonwealth Games this time. We've
Unbelievable
Yeah,
results.
I think it's brilliant. I think we won almost as many medals as we did last time in 2018 without shooting and archery, which is obviously one of our strongholds. And to do that, I don't think anyone before the games would have called that. And for us, one of the things that stood out for me was the number of medals we won in the field events. Like steeplechase, like high jump, things like that. We've never done well in these events, and I think it's a great
Steeplechase event was a
yeah, I think
unbelievable event.
it's absolutely brilliant. I think it's a great testament to A, the talent that we do have in India, B, if we can provide the right kind of guidance and atmosphere and environment for that talent to flower, that we can make it on the world stage, in this case, the Commonwealth stage. And that gives us as a country a lot of encouragement to say that, we can really cut it with the world's best. And I think that belief will go a long way, because now, the landscape changes from just trying to make up the numbers and qualifying, so to say, for the finals, and saying that, okay, the mindset is, how do we win gold? And when you have that mindset of how to win gold, the work ethic that you have changes as well, because your mindset is about, if I do this, is it good enough to be gold or not? When your mindset is about, can I make it to the Commonwealth Games, the work ethic mindset is different. And I think that is important to understand. And I think that is one of the first building blocks of a great sporting culture of a country. And that's where success kind of sows its seeds and dreams of different people in the country. And those dreams will be realized at some point in time. And hopefully sooner rather than later.
Parents are going to now scold their children, like, this fellow can study well, he can play well, and he's going on and on about this sport, and you're 36 and looks like you're never going to stop till you win your first world medal in the World Championship. When is it around the corner?
Yeah, I mean, we have the Worlds every year. So the next one is in May in Chicago, city that I love, a tournament that I love. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely one on the radar, and hopefully that'll happen for me.
So what is the peak for squash generally? What is the age?
I mean, it's changed. Before, people used to retire 32, 33. Now people are playing a lot longer. I think the way we train has changed a lot. We take care of our bodies a lot better. We eat a lot better. So I think the playing age has kind of definitely been elongated for everyone on average. Also, I do think, like, I've truly been, almost like eating, so to say, at the top table with the top players over the last maybe 4 or 5 years. So I don't think, my body's had, as many matches as some of the other guys who are maybe 30, 31, who were already, up there at like 20, 21. So I think in terms of the squash age, I'm probably not as old as some of them. But, like I said earlier, it's a yearly process. I have to, want it mentally more than anything. Want to be able to, go onto court every day, go into the gym every day, and, really feel that I want to improve on certain aspects and have that challenge in front of me, which kind of stimulates me and motivates me to do that. Because, everyone obviously sees you playing, on these big stages, and feels that, it's absolutely brilliant, which it is. But all the work that goes on in the background is probably not as brilliant. There are a lot of sessions where, when you're doing the sessions, you feel like, why are you doing this to yourself? But you do it because
Trials and tribulations, all the
yeah, because but at the end of the day, those are the sessions that create the wins. What you do on the day of the match is probably like 10-15%. The rest is what you've prepared. So to be able to have that drive to wake up every day and want to do it and feel challenged and excited to do it is something that I ask myself every year. And as of now, that excitement is there, and hopefully it'll stay for a little while longer.
And what is your typical day? I mean, how many hours of preparation every day?
So I mean, generally now I think I'm doing on most days I do about 3 sessions a day. So we start in mornings. Generally, I'll do one kind of like a lightish technical squash session with a physical session off court, which would kind of either be stuff in the gym in terms of strength stuff, or interval based stuff on the bike or the rower and things like that. And then I do a harder squash session in the evening, which it could obviously be match play games, but it could also, more often than not, it's things that we genuinely think that we can get better at. So we will kind of curate and tailor routines and condition games based on improving those aspects. And yeah, and I mean, I think curating them and trying out new things to get better is something that definitely keeps me going. And I'm so happy that there are so many things that I can be better at, and I think that's very important to have that aspect in my life and my career, to be excited about every day.
You're able to adjust your work-life balance. I mean, you're recently married and you travel a lot. How are you able to do that?
I think for that, credit goes to the wife. She is beyond understanding. I'm actually the one who's the one saying, "Oh, I really miss you, and I want to come back," and blah blah blah. And but she's very good. She. I think it's very important to have some balance in life, and I think that balance is provided on this front by my wife, who's very very balanced in her own way, very grounded. It also helps that she herself is very successful at what she does. So she's unbelievably preoccupied with with her work. But I'm really really proud of what she does.
She does all our artwork.
Oh, really?
All our, I mean, primal patterns,
Right,
all the
right.
logos, everything is designed
Yeah,
by Dia.
yeah. So she's very good at it, and I think that really helps. It also helps, that we don't get too carried away with big wins, and at the same time we try our best not to get too bogged down with bad losses. I think to have that kind of serenity and groundedness through the year, through the career is very important, because invariably you're going to go through big highs and really low lows, and it's important to kind of treat both of them with perspective, because otherwise the extremes can push you off what you really want to achieve.
I've spoken to Dinesh a couple of times and he said, "Sir, romba quietana paya." That means in Tamil it says a very quiet fellow, very soft spoken. And how is it when you all get along? I mean, you get together for a meal or something.
Yeah,
How is
yeah. I mean, I think we all get along very well. I think DK is a fantastic guy, like you know.
He comes and watches your matches?
He's come once in a while. I mean, he's obviously, considering him, I'm a very quiet guy. You know how he is. He's like an Energizer bunny with a no stop button. But yeah, I think the important
He's on something for sure.
probably. But I think the most important thing when we get along or get together is that sport takes a bit of a backseat.
Oh, good, very good.
I think it's more about random things, or about where we want to go on holiday, or how we can probably take Deepika's case as much as we possibly can. Things like that. And I think that's very healthy for us, because him. I mean, what he's doing this year is brilliant, and I really hope that he can crown it off with some really special performances in the World Cup in a couple of months' time.
Are you a movie buff too, like your co-brother?
He's a massive buff, but I definitely do like my movies as well. But I don't think I can compare to him. He knows things
So
like.
I'm sure you're a shopaholic like him.
No. Him and Deepika are made for each other. So like we always have this kind of debate as to who is the bigger shopaholic between Deepika and him, because I think Deepika has a disease, and I'm like, DK, you're definitely on par with her.
So that Rafa type of grit, you had it all your life?
I think the speed has always been there. I think
in every ball.
yeah, I mean, I think it's just a mindset where I just feel like I can get everywhere, and I also feel that even if I can't or possibly won't in the end, it's just it's like a reflex action that I have to go for it. It's not the thought doesn't cross my mind that okay, that might be too good, so I shouldn't go for it. That's just it. It's not something that
Use
I
your physicality to the maximum.
so it's not that I've practiced doing that. It's just that internally that's just the way I think. In terms of the grit, I think that is something that I have developed over the years. When I was, it's funny, like when I was really young, I used to lose matches because not because of my speed, but because I used to get tired because I didn't like to do any off-court work. I used to kind of bunk training when I knew there was going to be some hard sessions in play and stuff like that. But
Saurav Ghosal.
yeah, if you can believe that, yeah.
When did you decide that squash is everything for me?
I don't think there was a particular moment. I think I ended up being a very, very good junior on the world stage since I was like 16 years old. And I think playing on the professional circuit was a natural progression. And like I said, I love sport and it's something that I love doing. And to almost be handed this opportunity of, being able to do this as part of my life on a regular basis was something that I was so happy about and I definitely couldn't turn down. And I think that's kind of the way it kind of transpired. So I wouldn't say that one fine day I sat down and said that, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I think it was just, I was doing well, thankfully. And it was just a question of whether I could, really, really use that and make that something which I could, make my
Fantastic.
job, so to say. But at the same time, I still did my degree. I still did my undergraduate
That's
degree.
phenomenal. As I mentioned earlier, you can study well, you can play sport well, very well behaved, kind of shopaholic. You've traveled the world, seen everything and gone through ups and downs in squash and won every medal possible at every stage and pursuing your dream still. And hopefully you win your world championship medal very soon. Your favorite sports personality?
I have three. Sachin, he's someone who I grew up with, absolute legend. Usain Bolt, like his aura, the way he runs is insane. What he's achieved as a 100 and 200 meter sprinter, I don't think anyone is going to replicate that in our lifetimes. And Roger Federer, who's unfortunately retired last week, they are my trifecta.
Any books you would like to recommend for young readers?
I'm more of a non-fiction type of person. I don't read as much fiction. I think that's where movies and TV shows come into play. I think one book that I really, really liked and something that really impacted me a lot is A Shot at Glory by Abhinav Bindra. I know him personally now as well, and like when he won his gold in 2008, I'll be honest, I didn't kind of understand all the work and what had gone into winning that medal. For whatever reason, like shooting is not something that I was very familiar with, what types of training and things like that. But after knowing him and reading that book, it is something that definitely every Indian's, kid who's aspiring to be a top sportsman, I would definitely recommend reading to just understand the level of detail required to be the best at what you are.
And your favorite movies, actors?
Favorite movies,
serials?
I think in Hollywood, I think it's the Lord of the Rings and the Batman trilogy by Christopher Nolan. I think it's the best superhero movies ever made. In Bollywood, I think my favorite movie is, this is probably a bit out of left field, but it's Swades.
Okay.
Every time I watch Swades, I feel like I should do something for my country. I genuinely love that movie, and I think there's it's very well done, and there's so much to learn from that movie as well. Favorite actors in Bollywood, Shah Rukh. I've just been a Shah Rukh fan since I was a kid. So Shah Rukh it is.
Has it got anything to do with Kolkata Knight Riders?
No. I've actually liked Shah Rukh ever since like his Dilwale Dulhania days and Dar and Bazigar and all that. So this is way before even the IPL was conceptualized.
Which is your favorite IPL team?
Whichever team DK plays for. So now it's...
Safe answer.
No, it is, to be honest. Like
Before DK.
To be honest, I didn't follow the IPL that much before DK.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I actually hadn't watched a single full IPL match before I knew DK.
Oh, is it?
And that's actually the truth. And ever since I know DK, since
so
then...
you follow RCB.
Now I follow RCB. So until now, obviously, Kolkata Knight Riders. I mean, I'm a Calcutta-born boy, so
that's why I asked.
I wish the Kolkata Knight Riders do well. But now that he's in RCB, so the royalties lie there. So
fantastic. So it looks like we can go on and on till the cows come back home. Such an interesting personality, a great student, champion, and we all are behind you to win that world championship.
Hopefully, thank you.
And it's been an intriguing show for us. Millions are going to get inspired. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.